Well, it's been a few weeks since I've been able to record. Just been working so much, haven't had much time, but now it's Labor Day. I've had some free time after running some errands. Right now, I'm just trying to somewhat charge up the extra battery I have. I think it's a Group 31. I have one battery in the Ford right now. It's quite small. I'm surprised it still works, but when I first got the truck, the, what was it? Toilet truck, I thought. The master cylinder didn't work, so basically we were starting the truck with the starter in gear, and I'm surprised it rolled. But yeah, it works for now, but that battery doesn't have the best condition, so I'm gonna try to add a second one. The tray can hold two, but I haven't really driven the truck much because we found out I had an issue with the rear slack adjusters. The rear was engaging too quickly because obviously this was made to haul a trailer, and it was causing the rear end to skid. So I did all the research on this. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. I've driven a box truck before, big trucks in general, but that was in a newer International. I didn't. It was automatic and all that. I didn't have to do much. But with this, I did some research, talked to some people, and decided to try to adjust the rear slack adjusters, which was a pain. I luckily bought a grease gun and started greasing everything, and was able to back them off a little bit to let the front engage, and it was quite successful. I mean, it was a pain trying to get it to rotate the actual worm gear to adjust the S cam, but in the end, I was able to back it off, and then later in this video, I actually drive it around my neighborhood testing it out. Here I am trying to back it out of my driveway. I have to kind of feather it a little bit because the passenger side is somewhat in the grass, and the other day, even with it being dry, that heavy truck did not like sitting in the grass at all. It started to spin, especially with no weight in the rear. But luckily I moved some vehicles around and was able to get it more on the gravel. The dually's kind of parked for now, so I didn't feel like charging it, or turning it on, charging it, airing it up, and all that. It's a fun process. It's parked for now. I decided to just cruise it around my neighborhood and try the brakes out. Besides just getting a feel for the vehicle, this is definitely one of a kind thing I've driven. It's a very awkward feeling, especially with the Cabover, because you are in the front. I mean, it'll turn on a dime, but it's just weird having the cab swing around. I'm not used to it at all. I don't think really anybody would be unless they're in a vehicle like this, but it's definitely kind of a pain to shift. We had an issue with the shifter tower moving around, which we put a new gasket and retorqued it down with some new bolts and everything, some Loctite, and it's better, but it still kind of fights you trying to shift in a gear. I'm not super experienced in driving a manual truck. I've driven, manual cars all my life, but that's a lot easier than throwing a big stick like this. Trying to get a feel for where each gear is at. Sometimes, try to put it in, I don't know, would it be second, and then I end up putting it in fourth, because it does throw me off, because a normal first gear is actually reverse on this truck, and then first gear is the actual first gear is where second would technically be, and then it goes on from there. So I daily drive a 6-speed manual that starts with first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, but this one technically starts with reverse if you follow the same pattern. So it's just a mind game trying to remember it and not throw it in reverse on accident instead of first. But it's an interesting time. Here I am trying to get the brakes to work, see how they engage, see if it'll slide at all, which I'm trying not to hit it too hard, freak out my neighbors. But it worked pretty well. I mean, the one side was locking up, and I was able to get it to back off, so now the vehicle can actually stop easily. The fronts engage more before the rear is actually touched, because I'm not actually towing anything at all. There's me waving to the local police. They're probably confused on seeing something like this driving down the road. But yeah, that's all I got going on right now. I'm pretty busy weekend. I went to Cletus and Cars in Bristol, and that was an awesome time the whole weekend. But I'm definitely wore out from that, especially the sun. But yeah, that's basically it for now. I'll see whatever other videos I can take of the stuff I do.